documents are in order. So important. In terms of preparing for your interview, I'll give you a joke. I was driving with some of my sister in them, right? And that was when I used to live in Connecticut, and we were driving down to New York. And my sister in borrow, or what would I call in Jamaica, spooky. She borrowed spooky Escalade, and we are drive down. Why, when we are drive down, we have an accident? I mean, I tell you, you say some of your sister in the street, she turned around one time in the car. Look, this is the version. Me say, blow off, yeah, little traffic thing. But then she probably thinking of the insurance. Yeah? So then the guy came, and her license at the time, she can't drive. She just had a Jamaican driver's license. And the officer was like, what's a Connecticut driver's license in here? And I had it at the time. He's like, you take over. Yeah, so she had an accident and thing, and yeah, but it is what it is. So I will tell you this. Make sure your stories align. Yeah. You could start whispering in one person's ear, and by the time you reach to like probably the fifth person who is sitting in a row, you have a completely different story. So I think sometimes you can discuss, especially if it's a marriage-based interviews. Right now, if your documents are copacetic, they're not calling you in for an interview. So if you get called in for an interview, I'll tell you this: it's something that the officer couldn't figure out. Probably it is that the officer suspected fraud. Anybody getting called in a marriage-based interview, or just by the documents alone, they need to investigate further. So they want to call you in. They want to hear what you have to say. They need your version because they need your testimony, right? So for these interviews, make sure and that your stories align. One of the things too is they will ask your spouse certain things. And if it is that your spouse doesn't know, it speaks to your marriage. How is it that you would not know this? Simple things like you go into the interview and they will ask, has your spouse ever been arrested? And you well confident, no. Well, the man has been arrested 5 times. Yeah. And I find we have some very, I would say, pretentious people. They act holier than thou, right? Me's a little rev. Me's not a holier than thou person, right? But if you don't know me, some people under the misconception, nah, me's a rebel. And I think he did not tell his wife because he was so ashamed. And when he actually told his wife, she's crying. And I said, for this? I don't know. It must be because we used to seeing dispositions for a lot of things. I am so immune to it. Yeah? And like serious tears. How is it that you were? I'm like, look, you're looking at a black man in America, which is like magnet for police, right? Yes, he was arrested. This is not his lifestyle. There are some things I think people hold on to the wrong things. And I don't know if it's because of this job. Little problem is not problem to me. May I deal with like serious problem. I have been through in my personal life too serious issues. And I have seen clients with serious issues. So when people come with like what I consider minor, yeah, your spouse probably who is not used to it, and they want to uphold themselves in a certain manner, probably because of the friends they keep. Me not keep pretentious friends, but some people, they like that lifestyle, they like that fake life, so they can go before their friends, and they are basically looking a certain way, right? But I think when you meet someone, you cannot just evaluate them in a vacuum. I am going to encourage you, because at the end of the day, it's a person. For me, I know, like, I take away people's financial status. I look at the heart of the person. So my cross section of friends is from the poorest of the poor, dirt poor, a poor people come from, and people who really have some serious money. Me tell them, me chat to everybody. Yeah. And I think you should be open minded enough to do so. And when you're taking someone in your life, I think you should look to the person's heart, look to their character. But hey, that's just a girl out of Portmore, I tell you. Whatever you look for, it's your own choice, right? So it is what it is. I think if you have met someone, I think especially if you have an application to make with immigration, or put aside no application to make, I think you should know that person. You must know their criminal history. One of the things that I encourage women to do, if it is that you're dating someone, especially women with young children, check the sex offender registry. You cannot just bring anyone around your kids. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I watch this channel on YouTube. I think it's called Unfiltered Stories. And watching, I thought I heard wickedness in my office. I have not seen a level of wickedness as I have when I listen to the testimony of these women and men, and what has happened to them when they were children, and what they have suffered. You have to know someone's background. And one of the worst things that I have found that has happened to people as well is, it's when you're in your immigration interviews, you realize that the person you're talking to is already married, so your marriage is void. Check the documents people bring to you. It's so crucial that you're dealing with people who are unmarried. I've had to tell my client, he's a married man, he wants to look about getting his fiance. Married people, you can't have fiancés, right? So things like this, I really want you to become aware of, right? It's just, it is what it is.